Alright, so big shout out to Ducati Triumph Eurosport of Fort Worth. My apologies for my voice, everyone. I've been sick, slowly getting better. And there's very nice people that are going to let me ride this here Ducati V4 for like 10-15 minutes all by myself. Very excited. Good? Thank you. Alright. So here we go. So I've ridden many a Ducatis. This is going to be my very first V4 ride. Everything I've ever ridden was a V-twin. And I am very excited about this. So, this is going to be my first ride ever, Ducati V4. Alright, so this dealership I went to has been absolutely amazing. They let you do test rides. You know, non-restricted. They pretty much just let you borrow the bike, which is absolutely outstanding, and don't care that I'm filming. So we're gonna have a nice ride, first time, and we're gonna see how this thing feels. So far, clutch and everything's, you know, a little jerky, low end, but it's not too bad. You know, to kind of just feel a little bit in the clutch. It's kind of one of those you don't really hesitate, you just kind of give it gas and go. Kind of feels. The instrument cluster is awesome and very easy to see during the day. Oh man, it feels so good. Oh god, in between shifting is amazing. Let's get on the highway, shall we? See what she's got. Oh man. So to be perfectly honest, it doesn't have just a huge burst of power that I expected, but so linearly smooth. Just go and go. That's full throttle 6 gear. So it doesn't have auto down. It's in 4th gear. Alright, that's where she's powerful. Okay, so what I've learned is you gotta get this thing over 89,000 RPMs to really feel what she's got. This bike is very, very, very smooth, and I'm actually going to say it's comfortable. I mean, I could probably ride this as much as I ride my FZ09. I mean, bumps and everything, this thing just feels like I'm floating on air. It's very, very, very nice bike. It's so manageable. I mean, I can see where a good full exhaust and a tune would be nice in the low end. But good lord, this thing rides nice. I mean, it sounds it sounds like a twin, but feels like a inline 4 almost. It's really kind of hard to describe how this bike is. But I feel so planted behind it. I mean, it's just absolute effortless handling. And like everybody says, there's nothing I can push this bike through that it can't handle. This thing would be an absolute monster, and I couldn't give it justice. A little under the bridge revving, I would assume, is in order. Oh yeah, that's nice. Auto shifts, gauges. All right, let's give it some business, shall we? All right, close, we're on third gear. So smooth in the top end RPMs. This bike is crazy good. I mean, just gets to 100 and just flies past it. I mean, without a doubt, one of the most amazing bikes I've ever ridden. And like I said, weirdly comfortable. It's got a nice, I mean, definitely has a nice, smooth, progressive pull in 6th gear. Because when you're on the highway, you know, and just got to move to another lane, give a look, pull, and you're gone. Just without hesitation, absolutely astonishing ride. Well, now if I can figure out how to get back to the dealership after a downshift. Oh man, this thing is beautiful. Riverside Drive. That's me. Oh yeah, definitely feels light and very, very nice and aggressive. Oh, this is such a nice bike to anybody that wants one. Alright, so if you're thinking about buying a Ducati V4, do it! This is definitely the bike to have. There you go. Oh yeah. Yes, sir? I have no idea what he's saying. So, I'm not sure if it's just a hot day, because it's definitely hot and definitely sunny, but I'm feeling the heat between my legs, kind of upper thigh area, if you would. Especially sitting here, it wasn't bad while riding, but in the city, going slow, I don't think this is exactly ideal for riding. Yeah, it's definitely starting to get hot between the legs now. Whew. This bike is absolutely phenomenal, and it's weird. I mean, under like 7,000 RPMs, it's like not even scary. I mean, you think, you know, big Ducati, you know, you think it's just gonna launch and uncontrollably just go crazy on you, but I mean, this is full throttle. It's not bad. Like, it doesn't want me dead. That's kind of the best way to explain it. My FZ09 wants me dead. You just touch the throttle and you don't get that smooth progression. This, on the other hand, is like smooth and manageable, and it'd be really good in the city. It's just, it's so hot right now. God, it is actively burning my legs, and it's kind of, ooh, I mean, it's definitely interesting, I'll give it that. I know they sell like heat shielding and stuff, and this thing needs it, so. Oh man, this thing's nice. And where is the kickstand on this little guy? There we are. Oh yeah. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a nice bike. Very comfortable. More to come. All right, another big shout out to Eurosport Cycle of Fort Worth, Texas, for all their beautiful motorcycles, and let me ride that V4 Ducati over there. And in case you're wondering, there was no pressure whatsoever on any kind of sale. They were nothing but nice, and gave me a pretty good deal if I want one on a bike. Took quite a few $1,000s off a used, or not a used, but a brand new 2018 model. Which is not bad. So, but that's also a lot of money. A lot of money I don't necessarily have. But damn, so there's that V4 again. Alright, so I've always, as soon as I heard they were coming out with a V4, always wanted to ride one. And it really does take a minute to really get used to it and what it is, because the V4 seems so intimidating when you first get on it. It's very racy, and it's really hard to explain. So the V4 is just, when you get on it, it feels like you're on a missile. And you're just terrified this thing's just gonna go flying down the road. And then you give it some clutch, give it a little bit of throttle, sounds real throaty and angry, and you go forward and it kind of lumbers along in low RPM. And then, you remember back at Ducati V twins, and you realize, they do the same thing. They're real chuggy, in 2, 3, 4,000 RPMs. It's not until they get into the upper, 5, 6, 7s, 8s, they really come alive. And in my experience, the Ducatis, they hit 8, 9,000, it's just, pow, hang on, and then boom, another gear. But this was kind of like that. So it felt like the V-twin character of the low end, but then all of a sudden you get into the high end, everything smooths out, and then you get to the real high end, you get that burst of speed. And then you're expecting, like Ducati, you're expecting, all right, time for another gear. But it wasn't like that. It was just hang the fuck on, it just keeps going and going. It was like, this doesn't feel like a Ducati. I mean, it felt like an R1 all of a sudden, but more power. It just terrified you because it never let up. I mean, it was just like climbing a mountain. When you get to the top, there's just more mountain of power. It's the total opposite of this bike I'm on right now. Complete stellar opposite of an FZ09. SE09 is absolutely savage in the low end and the mid-range, but then of course dies out in the top end, which I really need to get a tune, it'd be great. But that bike, you know, it just was smooth and progressive in the low RPMs to make it where it's a good rideable bike that you lose the intimidation once you ride it the first time. And then if you really want to get on it, like I did previously on that on-ramp, it is just absolutely savage. And you just, by the time you realize it, you're doing well over 100 miles an hour and just flying down the damn road. And you're sitting there thinking, holy shit, this bike isn't mine. This is a demo. And we're gonna go for it. Very windy, I'm gonna have to shout, and I'm sorry because my voice is terrible. So one thing that really surprised me was how smooth that bike felt on the highway. And I mean, like the bumps and the riding quality. And I didn't feel the heat while I was going down the highway at all. But the ride quality, like, I mean, it didn't make my balls hurt. It didn't hurt my legs. Didn't hurt my knees. The legs were the perfect height up. And I mean, I didn't feel extra weight or anything on my arms. I mean, the riding position to me was one of the most comfortable I've ever felt. And to me, that's absolutely baffling. I mean, I honestly did not expect it to feel that good. I mean, I expected something like an aggressive, you know, I mean, it's definitely aggressive, but I don't understand why it felt so good. And to me, that makes me really want to buy one. Because it makes me feel like I can hop on it, go for a ride in different varying conditions of road, whether it be bumpy or highway or stop and go, and still be comfortable and enjoy the bike. And that's something that I was not expecting at all. I was expecting something savage and uncomfortable and track-only focused. I wasn't expecting a bike that was capable of being enjoyed through the days. I mean, I feel like you could almost commute in that thing as long as you weren't stopped traffic. Alright, so now, the obvious big negative is the heat of that exhaust. When I was stopped at that one red light, it was burning, and it was hot. I don't know what the engine temperature was because I wasn't really focused on that, but my legs, you know, up on the inner thighs right here, or, you know, outer thighs, that was hot. I didn't feel too much on the seat itself, like, you know, you're right in the butt crack area, but both sides, very warm. Something I don't feel on this bike. So that's something to kind of consider. Hopefully by now, I know they make some for the 1199 and 1299. They make heat shielding kits, and that's definitely something that's going to be required to own a bike like that. Because I like to ride in all conditions, where there's a little bit of traffic, whether it's all open highway, whether we're going 20 or 100. I like all riding. So apart, you know, I mean, the exhaust sounded great. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and that was stock exhaust, by the way. exhaust had that like V-twin punch to it. And if you've had a V-twin Ducati or Aprilia, you know what I'm talking about. That like punch to the chest of power out of the exhaust. And that's weird because that thing still had a catalytic converter. Normally that's something you get from, a straight pipe. I can only imagine a really good exhaust system would do on that thing. It make it sound amazing. So one more negative thing I noticed, and I wasn't going to mention as I was pulling up, but the rear brake seemed almost non-existent. Like this bike, you hit the rear brake and you're stopping pretty good. I mean, it's definitely not the best rear brake, and I know we don't use rear brakes much, I get it. But when I hit it, I felt almost no confidence of that bike stopping with any kind of rear brake. Now, when I hit the front a little bit, it is really easy and smooth. And then you squeeze it and it will stop with the fear of God in you. But that rear brake just kind of had me wondering what, I don't know. I mean, I know that was a used demo bike. I don't think it was used that much, but it just needed a little more brake. So that's honestly my two complaints: the rear brake and the heat from the exhaust. Those two things fixed, maybe some better brake pads or something, and some heat shielding. Okay, whoop-de-doo. $100 pads and two $300 heat shielding kit. Okay, yippee. And it's the perfect bike. I mean, it was so comfortable. I mean, when I mean comfortable, like, it's rivaling how comfortable I am now on the FZ09, which is really, really kind of hard to fathom and explain myself, because I didn't think it was going to be that comfortable. I honestly expected, Ducati, I expected, 848s and 1098s and 1198s where they're kind of uncomfortable until you get used to them. And this was one of those bikes you could hop on and in 30 seconds, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. It was, I'm at a loss for words of how nice it is. All I can say now is I'm looking forward to riding the new Aprilia, but I might be disappointed. I was not disappointed with the V4 Ducati. That V4 is amazing. And anybody that says otherwise hasn't ridden one and doesn't know. Anyway, so in conclusion to the shenanigans that have just occurred, is Ducati V4 is awesome. Aprilia V-twins that I've ridden are awesome. I really want to ride in a new Aprilia RSV4 to really compare. But as it sits, my current thought process is damn, I want a Ducati. And I'm going to leave you with that. I apologize for my voice. Hopefully it'll be better next time. And yeah, so obviously we are due for a really good Aprilia. Wow. We are good for an FZ09 review, which I have been meaning to do and haven't. And my poor baby is dirty. Oh no. So, FZ09 coming up. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. I absolutely enjoyed riding that Ducati. And if you haven't ridden one, I beg of you to try to go to any dealership that will let you test ride a motorcycle. All you need is a motorcycle license and some gear, and they'll let you ride. And I cannot possibly explain to you how nice it is to hop on a 20-something thousand bike and go for a test ride by yourself. Yeah, that's what you need in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go test ride one of these things. They're awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.